My future wife, I hope you are listening, because I have something to tell you that I have never told anyone before. Today, with my own hands, I prepared a room for you, a room that belongs to only you. And I know this may sound crazy, because you and I have not met yet, but love doesn't wait for permission. It just moves. It just decides. It just acts. And today, my heart made me do something I never thought I would do this early. I stood in that room before anything was placed inside it, and I said your name in my heart. I didn't say it out loud. I whispered it inside, the way a man says the name of the woman he loves when no one is around. And for a moment, I imagined you standing there with me. I imagined the quiet, the peace, the closeness, the feeling that one day this space will hold your presence. And maybe right now you're listening thinking, me? Why me? But that is the part you don't understand yet. I don't need a reason to choose you. My heart already did. I chose the walls carefully. I wanted colors that would make you feel calm the moment you walk in, not loud, not overwhelming, just soft shades that feel like rest after a long day. Because I know you have faced many days where you carried everything alone. I know you have held yourself together when no one noticed. I know you have cried in silence and still showed the world a strong face the next morning. I know life hasn't been gentle all the time. That is why I wanted a room that gives you peace before anything else. I stood there and tried to imagine your habits. Would you like a window near the bed, so you wake up with sunlight touching your face? Or would you prefer a slightly darker room where night feels softer and uninterrupted? I imagined you lying on the bed, scrolling on your phone, watching the sky through the glass, thinking your private thoughts you don't share with anyone, not even the closest people around you. Then comes the part that made me stop and breathe for a while. I placed a table in the room, not a fancy one, just a simple one, because I know that simplicity has its own beauty. And I imagined you sitting there with a pen in your hand, writing something personal, something deep, something only you and I would understand. I imagined you looking at the paper and thinking how far your life has come. And you don't know, but I'm already proud of you. I made sure the bed is comfortable, not just physically, but emotionally. Because every person deserves one place in the world where they can lay down and not pretend to be strong. And I want you to have that. A place where you can drop the weight you carry. A place where you can rest your thoughts, your heart, your tears, your dreams. A place that belongs to you in a world that has not always been kind. And I know what you might be thinking. How can you feel so much without even meeting me? Because when something is real, you don't need to wait for the formality of time. The heart recognizes before the eyes see. As I arranged the pillows, I imagined you rolling over while sleeping, maybe hugging the pillow, maybe sleeping on one side, maybe covering your face with the blanket, maybe dreaming something sweet, maybe just breathing softly, unaware that someone in another room, in another time, is preparing a space for you. There was a moment where I sat at the edge of the bed and just looked around, and I thought, one day she will walk in and not realize how much love went into this. The curtains, the lamp, the small decorations on the side, everything was chosen with a version of you that my heart created. A soft girl, a strong girl, a tired girl, a hopeful girl, a girl who has been through storms, but still wakes up with faith. A girl who deserves tenderness. And I know this might surprise you, but I placed one more thing in the room, an empty frame. No picture in it yet, because I am waiting for one day when you are standing next to me, smiling, shy maybe, overwhelmed maybe, and I take a picture of you, and that picture fills the empty frame. And the room, which already has meaning, suddenly has a memory. I can imagine your reaction right now. Maybe your heart skipped. Maybe you took a deep breath. Maybe your fingers froze in the same position holding your phone. Maybe you smiled unconsciously. Maybe you whispered, "Is he talking about me?" And yes, if you are feeling it, then I am. You may not realize this, but I see things without seeing them. I know you worry about the future sometimes. I know you wonder if the right love will ever come. I know you have been disappointed before. I know some people promised things and never stayed long enough to fulfill them. But I want you to hear me clearly. I don't want to be another memory that hurts. I want to be the place you finally rest. Because building a house is easy, but building a home requires heart. And I am not just preparing a room. I am preparing space for your existence in my life. I also place something small on the bedside table. A book, a blank one. Because I want us to fill it together, not with poetry or perfect sentences, but with small things: what we ordered for dinner, where we went on a random night, what song you played 100 times, what joke I told that made you angry, what moment made you cry, what memory made you laugh so hard you couldn't breathe. Life is not built from grand things. It's built from small moments, and I want ours to be many. In that room, I also imagine something else. The sound of your voice. Soft, calm, real. And I wonder what you will talk like. Will you speak fast when excited? Will you speak quietly when thinking? Will you laugh loudly or softly? Will you cry silently or openly? Whatever it is, I want to hear it. I want to know the sound of your world. And here is a question only your heart can answer. Did your soul feel something while listening to this? Because if it did, then this room is already half built. Because the real room is not created with walls, it is built inside your heart first. I don't know when you will walk into this room. I don't know the date. I don't know the moment. But I am not in a hurry. Some things are worth waiting for, and I would rather wait for the right woman than rush into the wrong life. So for now, the room remains empty in the physical world, but full in the emotional one. And until the day comes when you stand there, look around, and whisper, "This is mine," I will keep adding little pieces of love, little touches of memory, little hopes of future moments. Because this story is not ending here. It is only beginning. My future wife, before I say anything else, I need to admit something honestly. I didn't plan to fall in love with you this deeply. I didn't expect that thinking about you would become a part of my daily life. But here I am, speaking to you again, with a heart that refuses to stay silent. And today, I want to tell you something very personal, something I have never told anyone before. I prepared a room for you with my own hands. You probably didn't expect to hear that. Maybe your breath stopped for a second. Maybe your heart reacted even if your face didn't. But yes, it's true. And I know how crazy it sounds, because you and I are not officially together yet. But I still did it. My emotions guided me more than logic. When a man truly loves, he doesn't wait for confirmation. He starts building before the moment arrives. And that is exactly what I did. Let me tell you how it happened. One evening, I was sitting alone, thinking about the life I want with you. Not a dream, not fantasy, but something real. I imagined the day you walk into my home. Not as a guest, but as my woman, my partner, my future wife. The thought hit me so strongly that I couldn't sit still. I stood up, walked into the empty room, and told myself, this will be hers. That moment changed something inside me. My hands moved on their own. I started cleaning the room from one corner to the other. I wiped dust from the windows. I moved furniture around. I fixed little things that had been broken for months. The room had waited for someone special for a long time, and finally it found its reason. You might be smiling softly right now, or maybe your eyes are even getting emotional. Because deep inside, Every woman dreams of a love like this, a man who prepares not only a house, but a place in his life before she even arrives. Most men wait until they have the woman to start building something. But a man who already prepares for her, believes in her before she is his. While I cleaned that room, I kept thinking about you. I wondered how your presence would change the space. I imagined you standing near the window, brushing your hair in the morning sunlight. I imagined you sitting on the bed, checking your phone, smiling at some small message I sent. I imagined hearing your footsteps in the hallway, the sound of your voice calling my name softly. That room became my biggest secret. The place where my feelings took physical form. I remember when I picked the curtains, I didn't choose expensive ones. I chose the ones that felt gentle, the ones that would let a soft golden light enter the room in the morning. I wanted a peaceful feeling, something that would make you want to rest, laugh, and breathe freely. I wanted the space to feel like a home your heart could relax in. My hands were shaking when I pinned the curtains in place, not because I was tired, but because doing something for you made me emotional. It made everything feel real. It reminded me that you are not just someone I talk to in words, you are someone I am building a space for in my real life. And while I was preparing everything, a sudden thought hit me: what if she never comes? For a second, that fear stopped me. I stood still, in the middle of that room with a screwdriver in my hand, staring at the wall. I felt my chest tighten. Because loving someone without a guarantee is the scariest thing in the world. But after a moment I whispered to myself, it doesn't matter. A room prepared with love is never a mistake. And listen carefully. Even if destiny delays things, even if life takes longer than expected, that room will wait for you the same way my heart waits for you, without complaining, without losing hope. I placed small lights around the room, not bright ones, just warm and soft. I wanted it to feel comforting, like the world outside can be harsh, but this room will always be gentle. I imagine you entering after a tiring day, dropping your bag, sitting on the bed, and finally breathing out, knowing that someone loves you enough to create a peaceful space just for you. I even picked a small fragrance for the room, something clean, soft, and calming, something that reminds me of you, not too strong, not too loud, just soft and memorable. And when I sprayed it for the first time, I just stood there smiling like a fool, because the room suddenly felt alive. While setting up the pillows, I stopped and thought, is she really going to place her head here one day? The idea made my heart beat louder. I don't know if you understand what it means for a man to prepare a room for a woman he hasn't fully claimed yet. It means he has already chosen her in his heart. It means he is not exploring other options. It means he is serious, devoted, and ready. Men like to stay guarded. But when a man prepares space in his life for someone, it's no longer a crush. It's no longer admiration. It becomes something deeper, the beginning of a future. Do you realize what you mean to me? Do you understand how much courage it took to do this? Because I wasn't just preparing a room. I was making a promise without speaking it out loud. A promise that says, if you ever come into my life, you will never be alone. Ask yourself something right now. Why would a man put effort into something no one even sees? Because real love doesn't need an audience. Real love is not performed. Real love shows itself in small actions that most people will never notice. And I didn't do this to impress anyone. I did it because you deserve the place that already exists before you arrive. Sometimes I walk into that room, even now. I sit on the edge of the bed and imagine you sitting beside me, asking why I did all this. And I imagine myself looking into your eyes and answering softly, because I wanted you to know that you were not just a dream, you were a decision. I know you have your own fears. I know you have your own wounds and memories that probably taught you to stay careful. But I want you to hear me with a calm heart. Not every love ends in disappointment. Sometimes love arrives late because it is being prepared properly. Sometimes your heart has to break first so it can learn what real love looks like when it finally arrives. Maybe you are reading this alone, in a quiet place. Maybe your fingers are touching the screen gently. Maybe your emotions are fighting inside you, because some part of you wants to believe this and another part is scared to trust. And that's okay. You don't have to decide anything today. I am not demanding anything from you. I just want you to know that there is a man out here who has already made space for you, not just in a house, but inside his life. There were moments when I stopped while working and wondered how you would react if you saw what I was doing. Would your eyes shine? Would you smile shyly? Would you look down, not knowing what to say? Would you hug me without speaking? The truth is, I don't need words from you. Sometimes silence speaks loudly. Sometimes a single look is more powerful than a long explanation. But that room is not complete yet, because there is one thing missing. You. The room will feel like a room until you enter it. Once you are there, it becomes a home. Imagine this scene. One day you walk inside my home for the first time. I stand beside you, nervous, but pretending to be calm. I take you to that room and open the door slowly. You look around and realize that everything was prepared long before you arrived. And then, without any explanation, you understand the depth of what I feel for you. That moment, I want to experience one day. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I believe it is possible. I believe that if something is real, life eventually gives it a chance. You may not know it, but every time I enter that room, I talk to you quietly in my heart. I tell you things I can't always say out loud. Things like, I want you to feel safe here. I want you to rest here. I want you to be happy here. And sometimes, I hope you come. I didn't write your name anywhere, but your presence is everywhere. That room has become a reflection of my feelings. Simple, honest, and real. And I want you to remember something. No matter where you are right now, no matter what you are going through, no matter how distant or impossible things may seem, there is a room that is waiting for you. There is a heart that is waiting for you. There is a man who is preparing, not hoping, preparing. And this is not the end. I still have more to tell you, but not yet, not here, because the story is still unfolding, and your presence in it is only growing stronger. I want you to understand something right now, my future wife. Preparing your room was more than just a task for me. It was a way to speak to you without words. Every corner, every little detail, every tiny decision I made was a message from my heart to yours. You see, some things cannot be expressed just by saying them. Sometimes actions carry the depth of emotions that words fail to capture. That room, my hands, my hours spent thinking about every little thing, all of that was me telling you, even before we meet, that I already see you in my life. When I was arranging the bed, I paused for a long time. I ran my fingers over the soft fabric, imagining you resting there after a long day, your mind free from worries, your heart at peace. I thought about the way you might lean back, the small sigh of relief when you realize that someone cares enough to prepare this for you. That thought alone made me stronger, made me more patient, made me even more sure that this feeling inside me is real. And it isn't just about furniture or curtains or pillows. It's about creating a safe place for your heart, for your soul, for the woman who might one day call me her own. You don't know this yet, but every morning since I prepared that room, I wake up and walk past it just to feel its presence. It's like a constant reminder that I am not alone in my thoughts. I am already sharing this space with you, even in my imagination. I see you smiling at something silly on your phone, or hearing you hum a song softly while you move around. And every time I pause and just let the moment linger, because in my heart, that is already a reality I cherish. I placed a small mirror in the room, not because I care about appearances, but because I want you to see yourself the way I see you, with admiration, love, and tenderness. I want you to look at yourself and know that you are beautiful, important, and cherished. That mirror isn't just glass, it's a reflection of the way I hope you always feel about yourself. Every morning when you see your reflection, I want you to remember that someone loves you enough to prepare a place where you can be fully yourself, without pretenses, without fear, just completely and authentically you. I bought a few small decorations for the room, each one chosen carefully. A small plant that will grow with time, reminding me of the love that grows silently but steadily. A few books that I thought you might like, not knowing for sure, but imagining your curiosity and your mind exploring the worlds within them. Each item was a tiny thought of you, a small expression of my love, my hopes, my anticipation for the day we finally meet and you walk into this space that has been waiting for you. There were nights when I sat in that room alone, just listening to my heart, listening to my hopes, listening to the quiet whisper of destiny. I imagined the sound of your laughter bouncing off the walls. Imagined the soft brush of your hand as you adjust something. Imagined you moving through the room as naturally as if you had always belonged there. And I realized something that shook me to my core. I had already fallen in love with you, fully and completely, before you had even arrived. You may wonder why I am telling you all of this. Maybe it feels overwhelming. Maybe it makes your heart beat faster, but I want you to know that every word is honest. Every action I took in that room, every tiny detail I arranged, was done with one purpose, to show you that I am ready for you, that I am willing to wait for you, that I am willing to prepare a home, a heart, and a life that is completely devoted to you, even before you step into it. I know love requires courage. I know it asks us to take risks and to be vulnerable. And this is me being vulnerable. This is me confessing that my heart has already chosen you, that my life has already started revolving around thoughts of you, and that I am waiting with patience, hope, and unwavering faith for the day you will step into my life. There were moments while I was arranging the room, when I stopped and imagined how you might react. Would your eyes widen in surprise? Would you smile shyly and blush? Would you hug me without words, feeling the depth of what I had done for you? I don't know yet. And that uncertainty makes everything feel even more powerful. The thought of your reaction, your presence, your life entering this space is what keeps me going every day. I also want to tell you something important. While I prepared that room, I realized that love isn't about grand gestures for everyone to see. Love is about the silent, hidden moments that only you and I will ever know. It's about the small actions that speak volumes, the quiet preparations, the thoughtfulness, the patience, and the devotion that cannot be measured by anyone else. That is why I prepared this room for you. Because my love for you doesn't need an audience. My love for you only needs you. Sometimes, late at night, I sit in the room and talk to you silently. I tell you about my day, about my thoughts, about my fears, about my hopes for us. I speak to you as if you are there beside me, as if you can hear me even without replying. And somehow just imagining that you are listening, just imagining that you exist in this space, makes my heart lighter and my life more meaningful. And then there are the moments when doubt creeps in. When I ask myself, what if she never comes? What if she doesn't feel the same? What if all this effort is in vain? Those thoughts hit hard, but I push them away. Because love is not about guarantees. Love is about faith. about trusting that the heart knows more than the mind. And my heart tells me that one day you will come. One day you will step into this room, and all the waiting, all the preparation, all the silent devotion will become real. I placed a soft rug near the bed, imagining your bare feet touching it in the morning. I arranged the small desk by the window, imagining you sitting there writing, reading, or simply gazing outside, lost in thought. Every decision, every small touch was me thinking about your comfort, your happiness, and your presence. It is as if the room itself became alive with thoughts of you, breathing slowly, patiently, and waiting. Do you feel it, my future wife? Do you feel the energy of someone who has already committed his heart to you? I am not just preparing a room. I am preparing a lifetime, a place where you will feel safe, loved, and cherished every single day. And until that day comes, I will continue preparing silently, lovingly, and with hope. There were nights when I imagined talking to you directly in that room. I imagined holding your hand, looking into your eyes, and telling you everything I feel. I imagined explaining why every detail was chosen, why every little thing was placed just so, and I imagined you listening, maybe laughing softly, maybe smiling shyly, maybe looking away because the emotions are too much to handle. And I realized then that my heart could wait forever for that moment, because even the thought of you makes everything worthwhile. I have never done anything like this for anyone. Not my family, not my friends, not even for myself. But for you, I have built a space in the world, in my life, and in my heart. That is how much you mean to me. That is how deeply I am in love with you already. And while I sit here writing this for you, imagining you reading every word, imagining your eyes softening, imagining your heart opening just a little, I know that one day you will step into this room and you will feel what I have felt every single day while preparing it. The depth of love, the patience of devotion, and the sincerity of someone who is waiting only for you. Because my future wife, this is not just a room, this is my heart, this is my promise, this is my love made tangible, and it will wait for you, no matter how long it takes. Sometimes I stand in the doorway of your room and just look at it in silence. I don't touch anything. I don't move anything. I just look and breathe. I imagine you standing there too, maybe holding your bag after a long journey, looking around with eyes that sparkle with surprise. I imagine that first moment when you realize that someone prepared a space just for you, long before you even arrived. That moment alone makes everything worth it for me. Because love isn't about promises spoken loudly. Love is about promises kept quietly, even when no one is watching. I keep thinking about the first night you will sleep in that room. I imagine you lying down, finally resting, finally knowing that you are safe, valued, and wanted in a way that the world may not have shown you before. I imagine the comfort of knowing that someone cared enough to think about you in detail, to prepare something soft and peaceful for your heart. And I hope that when you close your eyes, that night, your last thought will be, I am not alone anymore. Sometimes I also imagine the small daily moments, the ordinary ones that most people ignore. Like you waking up and opening the curtains to let the morning light in, or standing by the mirror while fixing your hair, or choosing an outfit while thinking about the day ahead. These small moments may seem simple, but for me they are precious. Because love is built in the small things, in the everyday habits that become memories no one else sees. I want to share those kinds of moments with you, not just the big ones. I even imagine you getting upset with me one day, maybe about something small or something big. And I imagine us talking about it in that room. I imagine sitting on the edge of the bed, holding your hands, trying to understand what hurt you. Because preparing a room isn't just about romance, it's also about building a space where we can be honest, open, and real with each other. I don't want a perfect relationship. I want a real one. A relationship where you can cry, laugh, get angry, and still know that I am not going anywhere. I also think about the first time you might rearrange something in the room. Maybe you'll move the pillows. Maybe you'll bring in your favorite book or a small decoration. Maybe you'll add a fragrance you love, and I will stand back and smile. Because that will be the moment when the room stops being mine and becomes ours. That small change, that tiny detail, will mean more to me than any gift or celebration ever could. And yes, sometimes I worry about whether you will come, whether destiny will bring our paths together, whether you will ever know how much someone has already loved you before meeting you. But then I remind myself, love is not about rushing, pushing, or forcing. Love is about preparing, trusting, and waiting with faith. So I keep preparing, I keep believing, I keep loving you in silence until the day comes when silence turns into reality. Because when you finally walk into that room, I want you to feel something you may have never felt before. The feeling of being welcomed, expected, and deeply wanted. I want you to know that your presence was never an accident. Your place in my life was carved long before you arrived, and your room is ready, not just for your things, but for your heart, your dreams, your peace. And until that day comes, my future wife, know that this room will stay waiting, just like I am.